listen, let's go over the Borderlands stuff. We're going to react to the Borderlands stuff first. So, if you guys are unaware, Borderlands 4 just recently dropped their brand new trailer, a gameplay trailer, showcasing some of the stuff that they've changed in the new upcoming game. Now, as you guys are probably aware, let me take off the waifu because she's going to be like all up in your business. As you guys are probably aware, things have been not that great for Borderlands. People have been mocking Borderlands. They've been making fun of it overall. I mean, it is not in the same place as it was many years ago. You know, a lot of people feel like Borderlands kind of died with Borderlands 2. And I'm kind of in that same boat, to be honest with you, because I thoroughly enjoyed Borderlands 1 and 2. I feel like 2 is the best one, in my opinion. But all the spin-offs, all the other nonsense that has come out after it, a lot of people just haven't resonated with it overall. And it's just not the same. It's not the same. So now we got Borderlands 4. And I got a couple of articles that I want to go over talking about Borderlands 4 because apparently they're changing some of the gear systems in the game as well. They're going to be making legendaries legendary again, you know, because before they would hand out legendaries like candy. Now they're like, you know, we're going to make them feel rare again. We're going back to that, whatever. So we're going to see what's going on, but I have not watched this trailer, so I wanted to watch it with you together. It's only 1 minute and 35 seconds long. So let's see what we got going on here, and then we'll kind of get into the whole, you know, nonsense. Here we go.
What use is a vault hunter? What use is a killer? A brute. A rule-breaking, loot-taking, running and gunning natural disaster. You are, in a word, mayhem. I take that personally.
No, nothing wrong, ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of hot. No, nothing wrong with a little bit.
This thing's lagging. I don't know why. Blow shit up together. Blow shit up together. Yay. Okay.
Be advised, a citywide curfew has been enacted. Violators will be shot on sight.
The fuck? That looked like the Kingpin. That looked like the Kingpin for a sec. Look at this. The lag is part of the gameplay? Oh, for sure. Looks like the Kingpin. Oh, that looks cool. That looks cool. I'll give him that. Dude, I hate that they've gone to this like Fortnite cinematic style thing. Like it's not cell shaded. It's like this looks like Fortnite. It looks like Fortnite models, Fortnite graphics, Fortnite world. This kind of cinematic style they're going for here is so Fortnite to me. But anyway, that's besides the point. So this is a trailer, but here I got something even better. Instead of looking at articles, there's actually a full gameplay breakdown that we're going to go over right now. And I'm going to give you my thoughts about the game as we watch it and see what we got going on. But what I will say is that this game is advertised in the same exact manner as every other Borderlands game. It's almost as if they don't understand the definition of insanity and they don't realize that, hey, there's been a disconnect between Borderlands fans of the OG games and some of the newer games and what they've been doing lately. There's a bit of a disconnect there. Perhaps you should advertise the game a little bit differently and maybe experiment a little bit. But it seems like they're just going to their tried and true, like, cringe humor, crazy over the top music. But let's see what we got going on. This is a gameplay deep dive. What's up, Zax?
Heyo, I'm Randy Pitchford.
Oh my god, bro. This guy looks like Smash JT in 20 years with a toupee. What's happening here, bro?
Founder of Gearbox Entertainment. Today, we're giving you our deepest look yet at Borderlands 4. All the excitement, loot, and gnarly carnage all running on PlayStation 5 Pro.
Since creating the loot
Smash says, bruh. Oh, man. Smash JT, I love you, man. I love you. I know you think I hate you, but I don't.
shooter genre nearly 16 years ago, we've continued to refine the formula, delivering better loot, greater freedom, and endless mayhem. And with Borderlands 4, we push things even further.
This is hands down our best Borderlands ever. All new movement, abilities, bigger and badder enemies, and a brand new planet. All in service of making you feel like a total badass.
It's the perfect entry point for new players.
Did anybody like Tiny Tina Wonderland? So there was a couple of things in Tiny Tina's Wonderland that I actually enjoyed, but for the most part, I did not like that game at all. At all. Like, I thought the game was fucking trash for the most part. There was some good elements to it. Like, there was some the map that they used, the way that they did the map, and they had all those little side objectives and the level design for the map and all like the secret areas and shit. I actually liked it. But aside from that, I really didn't like Tiny Tina Wonderland that much. You know, I really thought it was basically a Temu version of Borderlands, which is hilarious because it's a spin-off of Borderlands made by the same people. But anyway, let's continue.
With incredible new places and a great story. And for our longtime Borderlands fans, we're throwing back to our more grounded tone while pushing gameplay ahead further than ever before.
They're going back to their grounded tone. Okay, so they admit that things have been a little bit too ridiculous in the past couple of recent iterations. So now they say they're going back to their grounded tone. I didn't get that tone at all from the first trailer we watched, so I don't know if they're just saying this. Maybe they mean gameplay-wise, but the trailer does not convey that at all. The trailer conveys that you're doing the same thing over and over and over again that you've been doing for the last 2 or 3 games now.
This is the culmination of years of hard work from my teammates across the Gearbox studios. So enough talk, let's get it. This is Borderlands 4.
That guy's energy is so fake. You just know, like, he went off screen after this. He was like, "Give me a coffee, Martha," you know?
Borderlands is an unforgiving sci-fi universe where life is cheap and guns are plentiful. You play as a vault hunter, a bad.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
All right. Well, these look not that interesting, which is crazy because Lilith was so simple looking, and yet I feel like she looked so much more badass than this fake wannabe badass right here that is doing the whole, like, I'm a masculine, grunge, angry face woman kind of a thing going on right here. I'm not even going to talk about the fucking creature in the background on the left here. I don't know who she is. She looks like every security guard that works at a junior high school. I don't even know what's going on there, bro. But this one right here, Lilith was so much more badass, man. The chat's saying she's flat.
Badass mercenary with powerful abilities called action skills.
Today I'm playing as Vex, our new siren. She wields supernatural phase
Her name is Vex. All right.
energy to devastating effect. She can use that energy to empower herself or channel it to conjure deadly minions that fight alongside her.
And because everything's better in co-op, I'm joining as Rafa, a former TDR soldier who wears an experimental exosuit. He can
Smash, you gonna review this game with me? Is Smash JT going to review Borderlands 4 with me? Probably not, because he's, too busy getting sued by like 2 people now.
Construct an arsenal of weapons, like the razor-sharp arc knives.
These are 2 of our 4 new Vault Hunters that you can play at launch.
Borderlands 4 takes place on Kairos, an all-new planet steeped in conflict. For thousands of years, the Timekeeper kept the planet hidden, controlling its inhabitants with bolts, cybernetic implants fused to their spines. Anyone who stepped out of line was brutally crushed by his army of synthetic soldiers known as the Order.
That is until 6 years ago when Elpis showed up. This rogue moon was teleported away from Pandora at the end of Borderlands 3 by the legendary Vault Hunter Lilith. When it reappeared across the galaxy, it crashed into the protective veil around Kairos.
So they're connecting the stories between Borderlands 3 and Borderlands 4. Interesting. Okay. Well, at least they're smart enough to do that.
The results were devastating. A planet-wide cataclysmic event that disrupted the Timekeeper's perfect order.
Now people all across Kairos have started rising up, some even ripping out their bolts, and chunks of their brain along with it.
Here it comes!
That's the situation our Vault Hunters have crash-landed into. A planet ready to explode, and you're the spark.
I honestly don't know if this is a good idea, because Borderlands 3 was so universally disliked by a lot of Borderlands fans that I think the last thing you're going to want to do is tie your new game to the game that a lot of people didn't like. But I also understand for them, from a continuity perspective, at least referencing Borderlands 3 is kind of required, I think, at this point. You know what I mean? I feel like you kind of have to if you're going to try to make the story continue in a way. So I don't really know. People are saying, what is that thing? I have no idea. She has cracks on her chest. So I guess that whole thing about black don't crack isn't exactly accurate, but that's neither here nor there.
As you explore, you'll meet a cast of
On
Whoops.
top,
I went to put the ears on and the fucking thing just like skipped. Because the chat's like spamming ooh woo right now. Hold on. Where was I at? I was somewhere. I don't know.
devastating. A planet-wide cataclysmic event that disrupted
the situation our Vault cast of incredible characters.
That's fine. Let's go here.
Fan favorites return, like Zane and Moxie. You'll also meet new friends like Rush.
And as always, Claptrap is along for the ride.
Last but not least is Echo 4. This helpful drone follows you everywhere, hacking Order tech, scanning the environment, and helping guide you to objectives. But enough of all that. Let's get into the game.
Let's get into the game. 4 minutes into the trailer. All right, so looks like they're going right into it. So we're actually going to see what the game is like from, the actual fucking game itself. So let's see what's going on. Load Vault Hunter, continue new game, matchmaking, session settings. Basically looks like the same as every other Borderlands screen.
Thanks to our improved lobby system, it's easier than ever to join up with your friends on the fly. And with full crossplay at launch, you can play with your friends on any platform.
Oh shit, crossplay. All right, that's good. Crossplay is good. I'll give you that.
Today, we're venturing into Terminus Range, a frigid, mountainous region.
This is just one of the 4 zones on Kairos that you can seamlessly explore. There's next to no loading time, just endless looting and shooting mayhem.
Next to no loading time. Why would you even reference that? I guess because you have so many loading zones. Is that what it is? Borderlands is known for having so many loading zones that they probably said that to try to like offset the people realize it's not an open world game, obviously. The game has zones, which is fine, not a big deal. But they're like, almost no loading time, we promise.
For our current mission, we need to break into a secret black site located deep in the mountains. One of the Timekeeper's generals, Vile Lichter, has been conducting grotesque experiments on locals.
Yeah, crossplay is good. I mean, 3 had crossplay, so at least they're continuing that. Instead of, doing something stupid, because obviously they could have done many stupid things.
It's up to us to stop it.
All right, let's get moving.
All right, now
Here
we're
I'm using
actually in the
Glide,
game.
one of
Let's
our
see.
new movement abilities. Along with dash, double jump, climbing, and point grapple, these make getting around more fun and add a ton of utility to combat.
Interesting.
As you traverse, you'll uncover a vast and beautiful world. And to bring Kairos to life, we've introduced dynamic weather and events, so you constantly have new things to discover.
There's also plenty of local wildlife to contend with, like these Cratch, flying beasts who attack in flocks.
So does everybody get the ability to glide, or is it only some characters? I guess it's everybody, right? It's got to be everybody. I don't understand why they would show this and it not be available to every character. So every character is going to have the ability to glide, and every character is going to have the ability to climb, I imagine, and stuff. So
Here we've come across a silo, one of several new activities in Borderlands 4.
You'll naturally discover short gameplay experiences like this all across Kairos. There's no need to pick up a mission first. These are auto-granted and tracked on your HUD.
Silos house old, decommissioned order tech that you can hijack for the Crimson Resistance.
With the help of Echo 4, we'll hack into their network and release the communications balloon.
Peaches and Cream says the art style looks like a cheap knockoff of Marvel Rivals. That's not true, because Borderlands was out well before Marvel Rivals and has been using the same art style since the first game. It's like literally the same. It's their shtick. You know, they for the most part, they coined this, but this is their shtick.
Now that we're in charge, we can fast travel to the silo. And as a bonus, it's revealed the approximate location of a vault key fragment. We can collect these fragments to unlock a hidden vault, a high-level dungeon with challenging combat and serious loot.
So these are like small mini missions that are all over the map, I assume?
Let's get after it.
Dude, I remember Battleborn. I still have that. I think I have it in my Steam. It's just not accessible. But I remember Battleborn. It wasn't a bad game. But it completely died. Like, it's basically the Concord of its time.
Another nice thing about...
So, Iron Reaver, I would say that you're not an outlier. All right? I would say you're not an outlier. The reason why I would say that is because I enjoy Borderlands extremely average with nobody to play with, like solo. But when you have somebody to play with, it makes the experience exponentially better. And it is definitely the definitive way to play Borderlands is with someone. But at the end of the day, you should judge the game. The game is not just only meant to play co-op. So if it's a game that you can play single player, then you should at least judge it based off of that as well, and kind of put the two together and make an opinion from that. But the game is 100% more enjoyable with a friend. But to be fair, there are a lot of games. There are a lot of games that are much better to play with a friend that may or may not necessarily be co-op games, at least not at the heart of it anyway. It's something that makes an experience infinitely better no matter what. And that doesn't necessarily make the game good or bad. It just means that you enjoy playing a game with your friend. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air with that, but I totally get what you're saying. And I agree with you.
Silos is you can zip line up and take off.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like how nobody gives a fuck about the story in Diablo, especially recently. Maybe the older ones we did. I know I did. But the recent Diablos, I'm like, You just want to run around and fucking kill shit, kill bosses, grab loot. You know what I mean? It's a gear grinding game.
And if that's not fast enough for you, you can always pull out your personal vehicle, the Digirunner. Just hop on, hit boost, and get rolling.
You can customize the body, paint job, and even how it handles.
And because this is Borderlands, you best believe it has guns.
As you traverse, you'll encounter a host of dynamic events. From order patrols to world bosses, there's always something to shoot and loot.
All right, we're coming up on an order outpost. Let's see the new movement abilities in action.
Chaining our new traversal abilities together makes combat more dynamic than ever. You can dash in and out of melee attacks, dodge projectiles, or quickly reposition to gain an advantage.
I don't know if the movements feel very synthetic to you guys. I can't help but feel like this is not actual gameplay. I feel like this is all coordinated. I don't know. It just maybe it's because they're playing on PlayStation, so that whole like controller lag makes it seem like it's not organic. But it just feels like it's not. It feels like none of this is. It's like scripted, which it might be, for all I know. But it seems scripted to me.
Now I know that there's a vault fragment around here somewhere, but we've got a mission to get back to. Let's pull out Echo 4 to show us where to go.
We're meeting up with none other than the Tigra Partali herself, Amara. She's a former vault hunter and exotic pet sitter.
Apermess Break says the movement seems stiff to me. I think that's partially because, again, it's PS5. So they're doing it with a controller, but even with a controller, you should have a little bit faster movements. I feel like this is very like slow drag in one direction and slow drag in the other. You know, it just seems odd.
From Borderlands 3. She came to Kairos in search of Lilith and is now helping us take down the Timekeeper.
Dan Shion says controller lag. Never had an issue with controller lag. So when I say controller lag, I mean the built-in lag that is in every controller. A controller is always going to have built-in lag. It doesn't matter how fast you think you are with the joysticks. You always have to wait for it to drift in a direction. And you can have it at maximum speed. It doesn't matter. You're never going to be as fast as with a mouse and keyboard. That's just the truth of it. So when I say controller lag, I mean the built-in time that it takes for the joystick to react to your movements. There's always that millisecond, half millisecond of lag that's built in. That's just how it goes with controllers. With a mouse and keyboard, you don't have that. Input lag. Yeah, I'm sorry. Whatever. Input lag. That's a better thing to say.
Don't you
Wake
whine
up,
at
Scooby
me,
Pup.
homies. We'll
Wake up.
play in a moment, huh? Ugh, you agree to pet sit for a few weeks, and the next thing you know, you're having full conversations with animals.
You don't use security like that unless you've got something to hide. This must be the path to the black side.
Agreed. But if Lilith is on the other side, I don't mind some property destruction.
Ooh, your specialty. Please, be my guest.
What the
Come,
fuck?
let's throw.
This bitch just summoned 6 arms and she Hulk smashed the fucking wall. What the hell was that?
Throw some light on this black site of his. This place is crawling with creeps. Clear them out.
Co-op has always been at the heart of Borderlands, and we've put a ton of work into making it better than ever. Our improved lobby was just the start. You can also set your own campaign difficulty independently of the rest of the party. This way, everyone can tune the experience to their liking.
And you don't have to worry about loot ninjas stealing your drops, as loot is always instanced for each player. Plus, if you ever get split up, you can easily fast travel to your friends.
And 2-player split screen returns so you can enjoy couch co-op. Regardless of how you play, we just want you to be able to hang with your buddies and have a great time.
What the hell is that?
heard the talking creep, right?
Tim feels like the product of Lictor's twisted mind. Another of his experiments. If he's doing this to creeps, I shudder to think what he's doing to Lilith. We need to get inside. That air vent. Let's check it out. Hermes is really creeped out in here. Not me, obviously. Hermes.
Now that we're in the black site, let's take a moment to talk about loot. In Borderlands 4, each piece of gear...
So, listen, it's been a long time since I played Borderlands 3. But is Lilith not dead? Did they confirm at any, like, I don't remember. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. Like, isn't she dead? So she's not dead? She's alive? I don't know what's going on here.
Here comes from one of 8 manufacturers with their own characteristics and trademarks. There's Jacobs, with crit-friendly black powder weapons, the elemental expertise of Maliwan, Vladov, who solve lower accuracy with more bullets, the toss-to-reload Tedior, or Torg with explosions! We also have 3 new ones. The Order, with powerful charge and release blast, fully auto rippers, and the reliable, easy-to-use Daedalus, which can use multiple ammo types.
But that's just the start. We've introduced an all-new licensed parts system. This allows for behaviors and abilities from multiple manufacturers to spawn in a single weapon. For instance, this flat-off assault rifle features a Torg mag, Hyperion shield, and a Maliwan elemental switch, meaning it shoots fast and explodes things. The higher the rarity, the more parts that can randomly spawn, creating wilder and wilder loot.
All right, so that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. The fact that you can have different manufacturers all in one gun. It's kind of interesting.
And that's before even getting into alt fire modes, underbarrel.
But then doesn't that take away from the, how do I want to put it, like, doesn't that take away from the personality of the manufacturers? Like, I can understand how it's interesting to combine multiple parts of different manufacturers, but you get to know different manufacturers based off how they act. So now if you can combine it, I feel like it takes away from their own distinct personalities. I don't know. Like, I know they've tried this before. I don't know. I would rather the manufacturers stay separate. Personally, I would rather the manufacturers stay separate. But whatever, anyway.
And elemental damage.
The possibilities are truly endless.
To support playing with your favorite manufacturer, we've added enhancements. This new type of gear replaces artifacts and provides bonuses to specific manufacturers. Take my current enhancement. It adds a kill bonus to all guns with Daedalus parts, along with more reload speed and critical damage. This lets you min-max your build around your favorite manufacturer, immediately turning just okay guns into amazing weapons.
Finally, we've heard your feedback, and we've overhauled our drop rates and loot across the game. We've worked hard to make sure all our gear feels better than ever, while also making rarity matter again. This makes for our most satisfying loot chase ever. And at the top of everything are legendaries. These have always had unique effects that you won't find on any other piece of gear. But in Borderlands 3, they drop too often. This not only devalued legendaries, it made everything feel less valuable. In our new system, not only do all guns feel great, but now legendaries will truly be special events. We've added the magic back to our loot chase, and we know you'll love grinding all that great gear on Kairos.
What the fuck?
But let's get back to combat so I can show you my favorite thing, Ordnance. This is the new gear slot for grenades and heavy weapons like rocket launchers. Instead of taking up a gun slot and ammo, Ordnance now has cooldown timers. No more saving the big guns for boss fights. Now you can blow stuff up as often as you want.
Before we go
How much you want to bet that they're new tuned legendaries? How much you want to bet that they are going to have to change it again when the game is out? I guarantee you they're going to undertune it, and barely any legendaries are going to drop. People are going to get annoyed. They're going to be like, oh, all this gear grinding is ridiculous. I'm getting no legendaries. And they're going to end up buffing it. Because that's how they got to where they were in the first place. It's people complaining, and then they ended up buffing it, and now legendaries drop nonstop, and now they're going back and they're going to revert. Yeah, that's not going to happen. They're going to buff it after release.
Further, let's talk a little bit about action skills. Every Vault Hunter has a set of 3 unique action skills. These are class-defining abilities with devastating effects. Up until now, I'd been using Incarnate to deliver powerful phase blasts. But let's switch it up to Phase Familiar and pull out Trouble. As you can see, each action skill has its own branching skill tree, giving you more build freedom than ever before. On top of passive skills, you can further customize action skills with augments and capstones.
All right, I think we've seen pretty much everything that I want to see. As of right now, this game just looks like almost every other Borderlands game, and I don't mean that in a good way. This is definitely not going to be a return to form, I don't think, compared to the OGs 1 and 2, which a lot of people love. This seems like they've put a lot of focus into the grind aspect of it. Like, they really want to keep you playing for a long time. So it just depends, you know? It depends. But overall, I'm not excited about it necessarily. I'm not like, you know, from a consumer standpoint, I would just be like, I'll wait for a sale at this point. This is not a game I'm going to run out and buy day one. You know what I mean? As a consumer. Now, as a reviewer, kind of have no choice. But as a consumer, like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'd probably wait, you know. I think I bought Tiny Tina for like $4, I think, if I'm not mistaken, on PlayStation when it first went on like major sale. I don't even remember, like $4 or $5, something like that. But in any case, yeah, not super interesting, to be honest with you. Not super interesting. Let's back out of this.